This term is used to describe a wrestler who performs moves with too much force or intensity, sometimes to the point of causing discomfort or even injury to their opponents. While professional wrestling is a cooperative effort where both wrestlers work together to put on a convincing show, being stiff can create tension and frustration between performers. One particular incident has been highlighted as an example of this criticism. During a match, Ware was accused of delivering moves with unnecessary force. According to those involved, he didn't just perform his moves aggressively, he also slapped his opponent hard while going for the pin. This moment stood out because pinning an opponent is usually a more controlled and routine part of the match. Such an action was seen as excessive and possibly disrespectful. These kinds of accusations can be serious in the wrestling community, as they suggest a lack of care or professionalism in the ring. While some have defended Ware, saying his style was simply passionate and energetic, others have pointed to incidents like this as examples of him occasionally crossing the line. Regardless of which perspective you take, it's clear that this criticism has added another layer of complexity to Ware's legacy in the wrestling world. Ware's career wasn't just colorful and energetic in the ring, it also had its fair share of drama behind the scenes. Beyond his well-documented altercation with WWF executive Jim Troy, rumors have circulated for years about Ware being involved in backstage fights with several other wrestlers. These incidents, whether sparked by personal differences or professional frustrations, have become part of the story surrounding his time in wrestling. One of the wrestlers Ware was rumored to have clashed with was Steve Keirn, a well-known name in the wrestling world. Details about their supposed fight are scarce, but it's believed that tensions between the two boiled over in a backstage setting. Similarly, Ware reportedly had issues with Paul Roma, another wrestler from the same era, leading to yet another confrontation. These backstage arguments and scuffles weren't unusual in the wrestling business, where egos, personalities, and the pressures of performing could sometimes create explosive situations. Perhaps the most talked about of these rumors involves a shoot fight with Boris Zhukov. In wrestling terms, a shoot fight refers to a real, unscripted altercation as opposed to the choreographed action fans see in the ring. If true, this fight would have been a significant and intense moment, as shoot fights are rare and often signal a complete breakdown of trust or respect between the wrestlers involved. Ware's Birdman persona was a big hit with fans during his time in the WWF. His colorful outfits, energetic entrances, and his pet parrot, Frankie, made him a memorable and unique character. His signature jive dancing as he made his way to the ring brought a fun and lively vibe to wrestling events, and many people loved the joy he brought to the show. However, not everyone saw the character in the same positive light. Some fans and critics argued that the Birdman gimmick leaned too heavily into racial stereotypes, particularly with the dancing and the way Ware's character was portrayed. They felt that it boxed him into a specific role as more of a comedic figure rather than a serious wrestler. While Ware was incredibly talented and had the athletic skills to compete with the best, his persona often overshadowed his abilities in the ring. Because of this, Ware rarely had the chance to be seen as a true contender for major championships. Instead, he was frequently used as a mid-card wrestler or someone who would help showcase newer or bigger stars. This limited how far he could go in his career, despite his obvious charisma and skill. It's a topic that has sparked much discussion over the years. Some believe the Birdman persona was a fun and entertaining character that fit perfectly in the larger-than-life world of 1980s wrestling. Others feel it was a missed opportunity to showcase Ware's full potential as a serious competitor. Many people have speculated that Ware's race may have played a role in why he never got the major pushes or title opportunities his talent and popularity seemed to deserve. During his time in WWE, while Ware had all the qualities of a star, charisma, athleticism, and the ability to connect with fans, he was often kept in the mid-card, rarely given a chance to compete for major championships or take on a leading role in storylines. For some, this pattern wasn't just about how wrestling worked at the time. They see it as part of a larger issue of systemic racism within the industry. Wrestling in the 1980s and early 1990s was dominated by larger-than-life characters, but the industry wasn't always inclusive in how it portrayed or pushed wrestlers of color. Many black wrestlers, no matter how talented or popular, found themselves limited to certain roles or stuck in the mid-card, while their white counterparts often had more opportunities to climb to the top. Ware's case is a prime example. Despite being a fan favorite with his vibrant personality and entertaining Birdman persona, he was rarely given storylines that allowed him to be seen as a serious contender. He was often used to excite the crowd with his entrances or to help make other wrestlers look good, but he didn't get the sustained spotlight that could have elevated him to the main event scene. This lack of upward mobility left many fans and insiders feeling frustrated, especially when they compared his situation to that of other talented wrestlers. It's hard to ignore the possibility that racial bias played a role in holding Ware back, whether intentional or simply part of the unspoken norms of the time. Today, looking back, this aspect of Ware's career is often discussed as a reflection of the broader challenges wrestlers of color faced in an industry that wasn't always fair or inclusive. While Ware made a lasting impact and is remembered fondly by fans, his story also serves as a reminder of how much work the wrestling world still had to do to provide equal opportunities for all performers. Throughout his career, Ware faced challenges not only in the ring, but also in how he was treated and portrayed by some commentators. Unfortunately, there were instances where racially insensitive remarks were made about him during broadcasts, adding another layer of difficulty to his journey. One notable example involved Jesse Ventura, a well-known commentator and former wrestler. Ventura, known for his edgy and often controversial style of commentary, repeatedly referred to Ware as buckwheat, a nickname that many found offensive. The term, linked to a stereotypical character from the Our Gang comedy series, carried derogatory undertones, particularly in this context. While Ventura likely intended the comment as part of his heel commentator persona, it struck a nerve with viewers who recognized it as inappropriate and racially charged. Such remarks were not only hurtful, but also reflected broader issues of how wrestlers of color were treated during that era. Ware's vibrant, multidimensional character was often reduced to a punchline, undermining his talent and contributions to the wrestling industry. Fans who admired Ware for his charisma, athleticism, and unique persona found such comments frustrating and disrespectful. This kind of behavior in commentary reflected the times where racially insensitive jokes or nicknames were often overlooked or even accepted as part of the show. However, in hindsight, it's clear these moments were harmful and contributed to the systemic challenges wrestlers like Ware had to overcome. Ware got his start in wrestling by working in the Mid-South, Georgia, and other NWA territories. Back then, he went by the name Coco Ware and was still finding his footing in the industry. Like many young wrestlers, he spent those early years learning the ropes and gaining experience. He worked in Jerry Jarrett's Continental Wrestling Association and Nick Goulas's territory, but success didn't come easily. These were his paying dues days, where he worked hard to make a name for himself. Things finally began to turn around for Ware in late 1980. He entered a battle royal to determine the first ever Mid-American television champion. The crowd favorite was Jimmy Valiant, a big name in wrestling at the time. During the chaotic battle, Ware accidentally knocked Valiant into another wrestler, Danny Davis, leading to Valiant's elimination. Shortly after, Ware threw Davis over the ropes, winning the match and claiming his first championship title. However, there was little time to celebrate. Right after the match, Valiant stormed back into the ring and attacked Ware, setting off a heated feud. This rivalry grew quickly, with Valiant teaming up with the villainous Tojo Yamamoto, while Ware found an ally in the popular Tommy Rich. Their back-and-forth battles became a major draw for the promotion. Ware's first title reign was short-lived. In early 1981, Dutch Mantle returned to the CWA and defeated Ware for the TV championship. While Ware's run with the title was brief, it was a key moment in his career, marking the beginning of his rise as a wrestler to watch. These early experiences helped shape Ware into the energetic and determined performer fans came to love. His career took a significant turn in September 1981 when he found himself at the center of a major storyline in Memphis wrestling. Ware was chosen to referee a Southern Heavyweight Championship match between Jerry Lawler and the Dream Machine. In a shocking move, Coco unfairly counted Lawler out, handing the victory to the Dream Machine. Fans in Memphis were furious, and Lawler was equally livid. This controversial decision quickly turned Ware into a heel, aligning him with Jimmy Hart's notorious stable, the First Family. Around this time, Ware adopted the moniker Sweet Brown Sugar. As Sweet Brown Sugar, Ware began finding success in tag team wrestling. He first teamed up with Steve Keirn and later with Bobby Eaton. Together, Eaton and Sugar won the 80-way Southern Tag Team Championship, marking a significant step forward in Ware's career.